have lived and worked in Monze district of Southern Province in Zambia since 2015. My network coverage has been over 70,000 small-scale farmers. And over the years, I have noticed a few changes in their attitude as well as their output. Due to climate change, I have also noticed a significant variation in the rainfall patterns. Now, to put it into context, Monze district is located under the agroecological region 2A, in which we receive 800 to 1,000 millimeters of rainfall on average. This is crucial because small-scale farmers predominantly in Zambia depend on rain-fed agriculture to grow most of their crops, especially Zambia's staple crop, maize. Zambia was once known as the food basket of Southern Africa and still has the potential to claim this position. But as things currently stand, this is not the case. With the rising food costs and prices, it is imperative for our farmers to increase production due to the high demand at local and export market. So how then do we produce food that is healthier without compromising the future generations' ability to do so in the midst of climate change? Sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is a way of farming that is kind to our planet because it is environmentally friendly, it is pleasing to our communities, socially acceptable, and most importantly, it puts profits in our farmers' pockets. Sustainable agriculture has been promoted by the government. And currently, the government actually challenged our small-scale farmers to increase their maize productivity to a minimum of 4 tons per hectare from the 0.9 to 2 tons per hectare they have currently been working with. But how do they do this? One way that we are targeting is through the use of conservation agriculture, which is a form of sustainable agriculture that is widely used in Zambia and is realized under 3 fundamental principles. 1, minimum soil disturbance, which is achieved through the use of either tractor reaping or ox-drawn reaping. And this is done to preserve the soil structure and prevent erosion. 2, permanent soil cover, in which we leave the harvest remains from the season to decompose in the soil and avoid degradation, or we make use of cover crops, which are either cowpeas or soybeans that are grown alongside our staple maize. The 3rd principle is crop diversification, where instead of growing the same crop year in and year out, we rotate our maize crop with legumes like cowpeas, or soybeans, and groundnuts, and this provides for a more nutritious field. Now, conservation agriculture has many positive effects for the farmers, which can actually be realized in their 2nd year of planting. What the farmers start to experience is an improved structure and healthier soil. They have decreased weeding pressure and reduced erosion. By year 3, the soil is able to hold water better and retain nutrients that are beneficial to the crops. Now, most farmers struggle with conservation agriculture because of its 3-year turnover period. But if they are willing to stand and learn through government interventions, they'll be able to realize that conservation agriculture is the only way to go. I'd like to talk to you about a friend of mine, Grace Silumesi. Grace is a lovely farmer that I have had the pleasure of knowing since 2015. Sadly, Grace and her 5 children faced a difficult challenge when her husband passed away in 2004. Now, Grace had been a sole maize farmer for so many years. Maize is all she knew how to grow. But her monocropping ways eventually took a toll on her farming as she was faced with a lot of pest problems and lower yields. Grace was only able to harvest about 10 to 20 bags every year, which translates to 5,000 kwacha or $270. And I'm sure you all agree with me, that's not a lot. But in 2009, Grace was introduced to the game-changing conservation agriculture. And since then, she has never looked back. Through government efforts as well as the private sector efforts through extension programs, Grace was able to expand her production to 5 crops, which includes the maize, cowpeas, soya beans, groundnuts, and sweet potatoes. Her determination and hard work were so inspiring that it caught the attention of a German well-wisher who gifted Grace with a tractor in 2017. And this was meant to intensify her production and increase her field coverage. And I think you will agree with me that this is really inspiring. Today, Grace currently stands at a combined income of 50,000 kwacha that she makes a year, which translates to $2,700, tenfold from what she was making in 2009. And she also diligently serves her community as a local mechanization provider, tilling people's lands the conservation agriculture way. Then I have another friend of mine, Mr. George Timber. George Timber, much like Grace, was also trained in conservation agriculture in 2009. George Timber currently sits on a comfortable earning of 35,000 kwacha, that is 1,900, and was able to impressively increase his hectareage from 2 hectares to 10 hectares under conservation agriculture. Now, George has been one to never shy away from talking about conservation agriculture, and he has won the hearts of his community. He has to date been able to serve over 1,000 small-scale farmers, inspiring them and teaching them to adopt conservation agriculture practices. He also has been able to work with several institutions in the public and private sector and speak about conservation agriculture on both the local, provincial, and national platforms. So the next time you're in Southern Province, please come through to Monze District, and I'll be happy to take you to meet George, because he's always ready to open his home and his fields to anyone who's ready to learn about conservation agriculture. Now, conservation agriculture is not a new concept, people. It's been around for years. But yet, despite inspiring stories such as the likes of Grace and George, we still have farmers struggling to adopt. According to the Conservation Farming Unit, adoption rates under conservation agriculture in Zambia currently stand at under 30%, meaning that 600,000 farmers against an estimated population of 1.5 million are currently practicing CA. So what is the problem? Well, most farmers have alluded to their challenges being with the initial first year, where they have to deal with the tilling, the cost of the tilling, as well as the weed control. And most popularly with the weed control, they have to invest in herbicide use, which can be quite expensive. Other farmers have alluded to the fact that they are not patient enough to handle the 3-year turnover period, so opt to not practice it. But here's the thing at the end of the day. Climate change is real, and its effects are undeniable. So we therefore need our farmers to wake up and realize that their mindsets need to change. Because at the end of the day, farming is a business. And just like any other business, I'm sure you will all agree with me that it takes time and quality investment for us to reap success. So why should agriculture be any different? So we need to be able to stand together and fight for this cause, because food is vital to all of us in here. As the saying goes, no farmer, no food. And even if we are all not farmers in here, we each know a farmer. This could be your neighbor, a friend, a co-worker, family. So we have to be able to stand together and fight for this cause. The government and the private sector have boldly supported farmers over the years with sustainable with sustainable climate-smart interventions, and we need to be able to jump on board and help them with this noble cause. Fortunately, there is so much information available on the internet today pertaining to conservation agriculture. So all we need to do is click that button, read about it, talk about it, and most importantly, act. Sustainable agriculture is the key to a brighter future for our farmers and our future generations. And this is exactly what will lead to a bigger harvest, better lives, and a safer tomorrow for us all. Thank you.